You guys are probably wondering what I have inside of this bag. Well, actually, you guys already know because you clicked on this video. Here is the Apple Watch, nice and still packed in the box. Let me show you the contents that are inside because we know Apple likes to pack more minimalistic. And they also like to claim to be more environmentally friendly when it comes to packing their items because they want to produce less waste. So let's open this up and see what is inside of this little box here. There's gonna be little tear marks usually with Apple products. When you go to the Apple store, you'll pick which one you'll want. Or if you buy it online, you'll pick which kind of watch you want, the watch face, which is, this one is the Ultra 2. And then you'll pick your band. So they kind of pack it customly accordingly to what you want. But it has a very interesting look on the inside as it kind of gives an outdoors type of look. So for your fitness people out there, such as myself, would really appreciate tech like this. The reason being is one of the main reasons why I want to get an Apple Watch Ultra 2 is because the accuracy when it comes to calorie counting and its fitness. So it's really important and vital to know about the stats of your own body and know your limits. So here is the actual box that it sits in. Well, it's actually two separate ones because this is the watch band that I chose. I chose the Ocean Blue band, which is supposed to be waterproof. This is like their diving band. So if you like to go swimming or you like to work out, this is something I would suggest you to get instead of the fabric band if you're more into fitness. And they do pack it nice and tight. And that's how they pack it in here. Pops open just like this. And here's your USB-C and your charging pad where you just sit your Apple device. Now you can always get Apple Care with this if you're worried about dropping or breaking this device. But it's $99 for 2 years of protection. Bands just simply slide into these grooves up here. And now to detach it, you just have to hit this little quick disconnect up here. That will allow you to slide it back out. You also have a depth meter on the side of the crown guard, and that's to measure how deep you are if you're swimming or diving. It also measures altitude, which is interesting. Then on the side up here is actually where the GPS is built in. And then you have the action button, which you could program it to do whichever you want. And a little siren here on the side. This will actually send a distress signal if you have some sort of issue, if you're hiking or something. A microphone on the side of the device. And of course you have your speaker. This is made of 49mm titanium. So we'll go English, US. And then you could automatically start pairing with your iPhone. Fortunately, this doesn't have capabilities of sharing it with another phone, such as an Android phone. And it's gonna update the software. Probably a good idea to charge the device. Hook up this little charger here. And it'll stick just like a magnet, like their typical devices. It's gonna look something like this. And I'll explain the specs of the device as it features a S9 SiP with 64-bit dual-core processor. And it does have a 4-core neural engine inside. It features up to 64 gigabytes of capacity. It does have some really useful sensors such as the heart sensor, and it does have temperature sensing. It has a depth gauge which is accurate within 1 meter, has a water temperature sensor. It does have high dynamic range gyroscoping, and it does have an ambient light sensor to have an idea of what type of environment you're in. Heartbeat, which would be a scary situation, but it will let you know that. The display is their Retina LTPO OLED display, 3000 nits of brightness, which is plenty bright to see in a very, very sunny day. It has 326 pixels per inch, and it does feature a night mode. Now, the battery life, it supposedly should last up to 36 hours in normal use and 72 hours in low power use. And it does have fast charge capability, and it can charge within the hour up to 80%. If you're curious about the OS that's on the watch, it's currently on Watch OS 10, and it does have crash detection built into the watch. It does have durability under pressure, so it can go within 40 meters deep into water. Subsections for altitude, high temperature, low temperature, temperature shock, immersion, even freezing with thaw, ice, and freezing rain, and shock and vibration. Connectivity wise, you can use LTE. It does have precision GPS with Wi-Fi 4, and it does have Bluetooth 5.3 with a second generation ultra wideband chip. Hook up to your local cell service if you want, most cell services, they charge an extra $10 a month if you want to have your Apple Watch connected to your cell service. I've been using the Apple Watch Ultra 2 for 5 weeks. I can tell you my absolute thoughts about this watch. Now, first and foremost, what can it change about your daily life? Now, when you unlock it, you could unlock it through your iPhone, or you can unlock it through your PIN code to whichever you set it. It won't be the exact same code as your lock screen, as it will be different as you will set that in the setup screen. Here you can enable your Apple Watch to unlock your MacBook if you choose to. Now, before we continue, let's dive in a little bit further so I can show you a little bit more about this watch and what it does offer. If you want to change out your watch face, they have a whole face gallery you can look at, as they show all the newest watch faces that you can put on your Ultra 2. They have quite a selection to pick from. Now, to change up your settings, you just simply go to My Watch. Here is what I got to talk about is notifications. From here, you can change out how you would like it. So you have your notification indicator similar to what you saw on the Ultra 2. But if you go down here, you have a little bit of more options, such as if you go into messages, you can set it to allow notifications, and you can even have it mirror your iPhone. Now, you could customize it to where you just send it to the notification center. You can send it to your iPhone directly if that's what you prefer, or you could have it mirror your iPhone. And here is where you have your sounds and haptics, and this is going to be related to your notification sound. So you can even have it on silent mode if that's what you prefer. I have mine set to very little volume because personally to me, I don't really need it that loud, especially that you get the haptic feedback, and you can set your haptic feedback on your wrist if you prefer the default setting, which is good enough personally for me, or you can choose for it to be prominent where it gives a more violent vibration. Here you have all the compatible apps with the Apple Watch Ultra 2, as you're not going to see your full list of apps, but the apps that are available will be located right here. And whatever apps that you need on your Apple Watch, you can easily install it from here. And here you can actually choose what you want your action button to be, as I have mine as workout. You can change your app view if you prefer grid view, or if you just prefer a list view on your Ultra 2. Here you can go to the general settings, and if you have to change out your watch orientation, so you want to change it to the right wrist, you can change out your language and region settings, even your Apple ID, and this is where you would check for your software updates. You can change the watch face easily by just holding this down and hit edit. Once you hit edit, you can look at bezel, they have style, they also have night mode. You can even put on the colors if that's what you prefer instead of night mode. But most importantly, you're going to want to know the features that are more beneficial to you as the user. Now here you do have your weather, which I have it currently set to Celsius. You do also have your compass here. You also do have your parked car. You also have your activities, which is also known as your fitness. The more important app that I gotta say about this watch. Reason why it is the more vital app is because this is what is going to really draw your attention more into this watch. It also gives you the time of when the sunset will exactly happen, and I do have it on a 24-hour watch face as I prefer. Now when you go into the menu, just click the digital crown. When you go to the digital crown, you do have your Fitness, which is the more important app, I would say, the most relevant app when it comes to the Watch OS 10, and it does have the activities. They're practically the same, and it does have health. It also monitors your sleep. It does have a depth gauge in there, medication reminders, but this does not exist anymore because of, as we know, the Apple lawsuit. Now, when you are using the Apple Watch, you want to track your calories that you burn throughout the day. You can easily track it through here. Try to hit your goals of whatever exercise that you try to aim for, as I try to hit an hour a day of working out and at least 12 hours standing throughout the day. And it will give you how many paces you went throughout the day by far, which I did over 10,000 steps. Now, this is what kind of guide will give you an idea of how often you walk and how long you do your regular workouts, such as I do my traditional strength training. As you know, I definitely gotta lift.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Other important features that you should take a look at is when you monitor your own health, such as your sleep. A great feature to take a look at, and it gives you a good indication of how long you've been awake, how long you went into REM, core, and deep, and a very useful function, especially when it comes to your health. I gotta say, the more secondary features are more of the phone, the messaging, and the text, because in reality, it's great to look at it. It does pop up on your watch. You can read the message. It's not as vital as the other features, such as the fitness when it comes to the Apple Watch. You do have your calendars and other useful features, such as if you have Starbucks or certain apps that you do have that you can use. Now, it's not going to have every single app that you're going to expect out of your phone, because it's not going to really be as necessary. It does have its limitations, and a really good useful feature, I do feel like it does have Spotify. You can download music into the Apple Watch. You don't have to be online or on cell service to use Spotify. You can check your emails on here. Now, notifications, you're going to typically get them by wrist notifications here. You kind of scroll through it, and again, something like this, you can enlarge it in the settings if you choose to, but personally, to me, I'm not going to do that. I prefer just to see what it is real quick. If I want to really take a look at it, I would just take out my phone. You double click the digital crown. Once you do, you can access your other apps here. This is the watch face I personally prefer. If you want to see how I get it, feel free to click the card right above, and this is one of my favorite ones to use on the go. Now, there is certain limitations, such as you do have to change the return clock on this, and again, it's not fully customizable compared to, say, an Android watch, because then you have a little bit more mobility and customizations. Now, it does have some useful features, such as timers and alarms as well, and in order to access that, you can simply just talk into your Apple Watch and it will respond to you. Set timer for 36 seconds.
36 seconds, counting down.
Which you can easily set on the go. What I really like more is the action button, because when I set my action button, then I can select certain workouts here. You can set it to outdoor walks, you can hit certain goals, you can hit certain calories. I added traditional strength training, and it has so much you can go through on the list on it. Now, if you go into Stair Stepper, you don't only have to limit it to just elevation, but you can hit the 3 dots, for example, and then you can open up certain calories if you want to set, and you can even create your own workout. You can set certain time. Now, one of the more notable features that you've probably seen, especially if you're curious if it's really useful, is the double tap feature. Here you can double tap and you will get your different notifications wherever they are. You can load different weather, you can load up your calendar, and you can kind of track and see your different widgets in this way. But it can be pretty useful at times. But again, in reality, you're probably not going to really use the double tap feature as much as you think you would. You can also customize the widgets. You don't have to have the standard widgets that is on the Ultra 2. In order to customize it, all you have to do is long press on anything and you'll have a edit menu that comes up. Now you're probably wondering, what else does this do? If you hit this side button here, this will actually open up your control panel where it connects to Wi-Fi, to your phone, to airplane mode, or to whichever you have it set to. You can set it to self-service, or you can take a picture with your phone. You could turn it onto night mode. You could even find your iPhone if you misplaced it somewhere in your house. It even has a flashlight, which is a feature I feel isn't very useful in my personal opinion, but it is on there if you do want to use it. You hold down the side button, it will also pull up the emergency screen. Now, if you double click this will open up your wallet. And when you do, you can actually use the Apple Watch to pay. You're probably wondering exactly how the battery life is for the Ultra 2. Now, for the battery life, you can expect 24 to 30 hours of honest usage, depending on what you do with the watch. Now, there's been times where I had to charge it once a day, but most of the time you can get up to about a day and a half of usage. You're probably wondering, is the Apple Watch really that useful, or any smartwatch in general really that useful to have in everyday life? I'll tell you, if you're just going to be an everyday user and don't really work out too much, then I would say the Ultra 2 is a little bit overkill, unless you just want a little bit of extra battery life. In my personal opinion, this watch is going to be best for people who are more into fitness, more worried about their health or following their health, or more worried about their daily fitness activities or trying to break new fitness goals. This is a great watch for that. For just the average person that doesn't really work out too often, it's gonna be really overkill, I gotta say. If you're looking for something that you're trying to change your lifestyle around, you're really worried about your fitness, you're worried about your health, this is a great watch for that. Gotta say the pricing is still a little bit too high for this watch, as you can purchase it for $799.99 USD when you do have other variations such as the Garmin, which is only at $599.99, is one of the best fitness watches in the industry, which I would love to personally try. But I do gotta give this watch a rating about a 7 out of 10. The pricing is what really hurts this watch. The other features that this watch does have, it's great. When it comes to fitness, it is awesome for that. Now, when it comes to messaging, and when it comes to other features such as that, or phone calls, you're not gonna really be talking to somebody on your wrist. It's great to pick up a quick phone call, but you're not going to be having a full out 45-minute conversation on your wrist, believe me. Messages are also great to see on your watch, but it will be terrible if you try to start typing on the little keyboard on this small screen. I give this watch a 7 out of 10. Fan guys, if you really are interested in getting this Apple Watch Ultra 2, make sure you check down in the description box down below, as I do have it. If you know anybody else who is interested in getting an Apple Watch Ultra 2, make sure you share this video with them. If you are not part of the big wonderful fan band, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button for more, and don't forget to hit the notification bell for more. If you are not following my X handle right here, it is the same as my TikTok and IG, as well as I put the newest updates available as soon as I get them. So fan band guys, let me know what you think of the Apple Watch Ultra 2, or if there is another watch that you prefer. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo signing out.